How are we all doing? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at the index laws that we've been working on, but this time if there are terms with brackets around them. So what we've got to remember is the power just means this base, whatever it is multiplied by itself this many times. And we're really good at this with just the one number or the one letter. So when we've got something like this inside a bracket, this 3 to the power of 4, we know that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. But because it's all to the power of 2, what that's saying is that this term is multiplied by itself. So 3 to the power of 4 is times by 3 to the power of 4. And now because we've got this multiplication with our index laws, we know that the final answer is just the addition of these small numbers. So the final answer to this is 3 to the power of 8. We could write that out in expanded terms, but that's just going quickly with our index laws from the last lesson. So the shortcut for these ones, even though it looks a little bit harder, the only thing you've got to be able to do is multiply the little numbers or multiply the powers together. So if up here to get to 3 to the 8, if we just multiplied the 4 and the 2 straight away, kept the base the same, we would get the right answer. So for this example here, all I've got to do to get the correct answer is multiply these two little numbers and keep the base the same. So this becomes 2 to the power of 35. When we've got algebraic terms, one or more, the only thing that changes is that we hit both terms. So for this one, if I was to write it out extended, I'd have a times b once, and then a times b is multiplied by itself, so times a times b, which becomes a squared b squared. So because there's no little number above either algebraic term, I want you to imagine there's a little 1 on both of them. And that way we can still do our same trick. This 2 multiplies by the a twice, and then multiplies with this 1 from the b, leaving us with a squared b squared. That's just a little hint, so we don't have to do any further expanding. A really common mistake for these ones is we'll have 2, which is a coefficient, out the front of some algebraic term. We know that we're going to multiply these little numbers together, so we're left with x to the 18, so that's a really good start. But some students think that they then have to multiply this 3 with the 2, and they give the answer of 6. This is incorrect. We've just got to make sure that we are assuming that there's a little 2 to the power of 1 at the front of the equation. That means with that power of 3, all we've got to do is take 2 to the power of 3. When they're numbers, you will be asked to write it out, and you can just use your calculator. So for this one, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, so that is our final answer. So make sure we're only multiplying the little numbers. If it's a big number out the front, just treat it as a normal power, 2 to the power of 3. So when we've got examples when there are 2 different steps, do the indices first and then solve. So for this one, I've got to multiply these little numbers together, which becomes 7 to the power of 20 divided by 7 to the 12. Divided by means minus, so my final answer is 7 to the power of 8. So when I've got an example like this, with that coefficient, imagine that there's a 1 there, and then I multiply the 2 by both little numbers. So this becomes 12 to the power of 2 multiplied by y to the power of 10. In your calculator, 12 squared is 144, y to the 10. Just making sure we're not just timesing 12 by 2. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys later.